If earth peace is to herald the dawn of the new age, realize that
Humanity is one's only religion, breath one's only prayer, and consciousness one's only God. When I was meditating in Hawaii, I had a deep pain, sciatica pain, and I used to go to the beach. I was in the big island in Hawaii, and every time I used to go to this black beach, this beach of black sand, Kahana Beach. How many of you know Kahana Beach? Yeah, that's right. We've been there. So I used to still meditate. There was no excuse for me not meditating, no excuse for me to stop my journey, because I always had in the background of my mind that the only purpose of man's sojourn, a human being's sojourn on this earth, is to seek God. All other things are secondary details. Right, Mark? Secondary details. And those of you who can sync with me, who can vibrate with me on this note, on this sentence, you are advanced. At least you know your center, you're not off base, and you haven't lost your way. Maybe you're doing something, you're a cinematographer, you're a hairstylist in a salon, or you're a computer guru, or you're a farmer or tinker or baker or chocolatier, maybe whatever you are, that doesn't matter. At the background of your mind should be, as soon as I get the chance, I'll intensify my meditation. For the only purpose of my sojourn on this earth is to seek God. This is pure spirituality. Not teaching techniques, not eating good dietary food. These are secondary things. Doing healing, doing good works, helping others, healing others, giving aid, giving money. It's good, but it cannot free you from bondage. Only the breath can bind you, and the breath can liberate you. Therefore, the importance of Kriya Yoga. There's so much power in the breath. That breath is the great bondage and breath is the great liberator. Therefore, do Babaji's Kriya Yoga. Alak Niranjan Ade. Now the satsang is over and we retire for the night. But since you people want more of it, I'll give you some more. And question should be interesting, you know. Yeah.
I was wondering if you could speak a little bit more about anugraha, its empowerment.
Now that's a very intelligent question, Joel. You read it out. Read it out to them.
Read it?
Why do you want me to speak about it?
Well, when we have empowerment with you, is that what that is, anugraha, or is it another level of it?
It's a lower level of anugraha. There are various levels. Initiation means diksha, which means entering the stream. You enter the stream of the spiritual flow. You're one of the sisterhood or the brotherhood of humanity. So you have entered the stream, you've entered the flow, the current. You've entered, initiation means you have entered the magnetic field of the evolution of your spiritual consciousness. This is what initiation means. I. So initiation is called diksha, and it means that you have entered the stream or the magnetic field of the evolution of consciousness, and the magnet is in the center and you're going round and round and round as you, in circular motion, as you come nearer and nearer the center, as you come right in the power magnetic field in ratio and proportion to the weight of the object and the power of the magnet, go round and round and round and round, and You get realized. Or you get to the next state. You become partially integrated with the magnet. The subject object become one. That is samyam. That is becoming the object. You get integrated. But after that, there is another process of initiating you into a higher thing. It's called empowerment or anugraha. You are empowered with the spiritual truth to reveal yourself as divine. You are empowered with the spiritual truth to reveal yourself as divine. Anugraha. Anu means atom. And graha means to initiate, to enter. Anugraha, atom home. So you have to crack the code. You have to crack the code of the atom and go from the three-dimensional state of the atom, that is the divine mind state, crack the code of the atom, of the subatomic particles, and go into the state of superconsciousness. So from mind you go into consciousness. Mind is still atoms, subatomic. So that is the meaning of anugraha, where this is the highest state of anugraha, where you crack the code and enter from the third and fourth to the fifth and sixth dimensions of your consciousness. Entry from mind to consciousness. Because initiation is only up to mind, to divine mind. Anugraha, the highest anugraha goes into consciousness. Lower anugrahas help you to go that way. Yes?
How can we help accelerate our experience to samadhi?
By Babaji's Kriya Yoga. Because this process is given by the highest authority, and it is definitely called the Kundalini Kriya Yoga. But for simplicity's sake, they just called it Kriya Yoga. Means the yoga to do actions which don't create reactions. Any action done towards God does not have an equal and opposite reaction, because God is infinite. The action is absorbed in eternity. So Kriya means to do. Kriya Yoga is an electromagnetic process. The two breaths. So the Kriya is like an Excalibur. It's a two-way sword. It cuts both ways. One way with the inhaled breath, with the prana, it evolves your consciousness. The spiritual evolution of consciousness. It burns your past evil karma. It burns the toxins from the body and all negativity. This is the beauty. This is the great and mighty genius, the divine genius of Shiv Goraksha Babaji, whose Kriya Yoga is coming. He simplified the method. Instead of purifying all the 72,000 psychic nerves and purifying the Ida and the Pingla to the side, he went to the center of the spine and did the evolutionary process there, and also the karmic dissolution, at the same time burning all the toxins and poisons of the body. That's why Kriya Yoga is so important. It's a great purificatory exercise as well as evolutionary. It evolves and purifies. Have you got it? Right? So that's the way to hasten your evolution. Then when times are hard on one of us, why do we form a community of like-minded people? Because it's easier to swim in pods. It's easier to walk in a group. It's easier to have like-minded people who you can discuss with about spiritual matters, about the projects of your soul, about your inner aspirations. Everybody likes to fly. Who doesn't? Man has been so jealous of the birds from the very beginning, from the eagle, the way he glides and the way he swoops. And a little jealous of the dolphins too because of their grace. They try to do that. But the question is, can man fly? Yes, but not his physical body. His astral body goes into flight. There are techniques in yoga. Therefore, the Kriya Yoga, it is very important. Some people may tell you that the Kriya Yoga, you have to purify the psychic nerves before you do this. In this case, no. That is the speciality of Kriya Yoga, that in the inhaled breath, it evolves consciousness, and the exhaled breath, it dissolves the toxins and the past negativity of your mind. You have to be patient. You have to be persevering. Yes.
And how do you deal with the current negativity of your mind? Because it's dissolving past negativity, but if somebody currently has negativity that they can't release.
The current negativity is dealt in two ways spontaneously, I'm saying. First is to not to go to that place or involve that person, place or thing which is creating the current negativity. That's the first thing. If I go to some place, some, what do you call these dance places where they dance?
Nightclubs?
Huh?
Nightclub?
Not nightclub. What is the dance called? What is the dance called? Heavy metal or?
Rage.
Rage.
Rave.
Rave. Okay, if you go to a rave and that rave gives you a splitting headache and gives you a sense of depression, don't go to the rave. Simple example. That's number one. Secondly, then where to go to, what to? Come here. Associate with people who are of a pleasant disposition and who aspire for their own divine consciousness. They aspire for the divine indweller. They aspire for self-realization. And after you are self-realized, then you become God-realized. But then many people want to jump to God-realization before and they haven't even cleared their minds. So that's a thing which is done out of proportion. Don't do things out of proportion. And you know what the great master, Jnana-avatar, the divine Messiah of wisdom, Sri Yukteswar said, is so true, that man is ever wavering, ever unsteady and fluctuating in mind till he is anchored in the divine. So either your feet must be firmly set on the path of God realization, self-realization, or you must be self-realized. Otherwise it is possible. Therefore you see, so many people join the yoga class, so many people leave it, and they are not steady. That is one of the benchmarks. In America, people always ask me, give me a benchmark. One of the benchmarks of steadiness is being steady to your master. No matter what storms come, what tsunami comes, whether Katrina comes or Rita comes, doesn't matter. Still be constant to your master and teacher. And don't judge others by your constancy. You are constant, be to yourself, it's good. Don't say, that person came and they left. They may be having a very good reason to leave, or they may be having a very good reason to stay on. So let the master decide that. The disciple should always be steady and constant to a true master. And the next question is, Gurunath, in this supermarket of yoga, there's such a supermarket, there's such so many varieties and so many choices and so many options. And you see then how can we find the true guru? We get deluded because the true gurus may not advertise properly or may not put themselves in the proper status that they are in. And these false beings and pseudo-gurus, I'm not saying any particular, but there may be pseudo-gurus who with very attractive words attract people. They are teachers. How can we distinguish a teacher from a world teacher? It's very easy. A teacher will have about 10 to 20 disciples. World teacher will be having 20,000 people following him. But then how do you distinguish a world teacher from a master? A master will have very few disciples. The supreme master, the Sadguru. The world teacher will have 1 million people. The master will have one person. So to get to such a true master, no true master accepts any disciple easily as a true disciple. He doesn't accept him very easily. That is one way to know that it's not the masses. Maybe associates, but accepting a disciple is different. And the second is those who come and know by intuition. They just know. They feel it. Because you can't tell it by words. Teachers, masters, yoga teachers, healers, therapists, they're all bundled into one. So they cannot be distinguished unless people have matured through various practices of yoga. And through their personal experience, they can experience, right? The transmission of the master. That distinguishes it. I've written in that little book which you got, that a true master, the litmus test of a true master is that he must be able to give pranapath, shaktipath and shivapath. Pranapath is he throws his life on the line. He throws his life energy into your breath and breathes through your breathing. He lengthens your breath. Shaktipath is he gives his spiritual kundalini energy into your spine, removes the negative blocks. And path, he does nothing. Just by his being in your presence, he expands your consciousness. This is the spice of life. Consciousness, yoga is the spice. It expands consciousness and gives immortality. I'm sorry for using this word because in America, if you say the word immortality, they immediately catch on to immortality and forget divinity. That's not the purpose of yoga. Immortality or divinity. There was a person called Leonard Orr. How many have heard of Leonard Orr? Can you put your hands straight up, right up? And how many of you have done rebirthing? Raise your hands. Rebirthing. 1, 2. Cornhouse has done rebirthing. Okay. Now, I met Heda Khan Baba, Babaji as you call him. How many have heard of Heda Khan Baba? Okay. So I met him and I told him, I said, look, I met him in a very private session, in a private surroundings. And I said, there's an American gentleman called Leonard Orr who has taken techniques of Bhastrika and Kapalbhati and certain Shwasan Jwala, Pranayama, the techniques. And he is teaching them for rebirthing. So this is bad. He had just told me that this is a part of his karma and that will dwindle down because that's not the true rebirthing. Rebirthing, he was trying to regress you to the primal scream of the womb experience. It's not rebirthing. Even the Western things like the Mormons and all have taken the Indian word called the Dvij, born anew. The initiate, born into the Christ consciousness. So the birth is not through the womb below, it is through the divine womb here. And when you penetrate the star, you are born into divine consciousness. That is what rebirthing is. And that's how the breath should be. The intent should be upwards, from the conscious to the superconscious state of mind, not from the conscious to the subconscious state. This was the mistake. And in the process of unfilming their mind, you see, the mind gets unfilmed, it catharts. In the process of unfilming, they were not able to complete it, and they got stuck in a particular place of depression or particular place of aggression. And then all that came to me, and I had to, hundreds of them, I had to clear of this depression because it was not being done in a proper way. Then they went into the samadhi tanks, they went into bathtubs. I tried to tell one lady to stop this because the intent was wrong, going from conscious to subconscious. That leads to a hypnotic or mesmeric stage. The difference between hypnosis and a higher trance or meditation is that one goes from the conscious to the subconscious state and you are hypnotized. And in meditation, you go from the conscious to the superconscious state and you are spiritualized. In the subconscious state, the periphery of the nervous system is irritated. You are as dull as when you entered the hypnotic state as when you come out. But when you go into trance and samadhi, the proper word is samadhi, when you come out of that, you are enlightened. That is the difference between mesmerism, hypnotism and trance. These are psychic states. And the Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa Samadhi are spiritual states. So please note the difference. Yes?
When one is clear of their master, what is the proper role in visiting with other saints and yogis? What's the proper approach?
You see, when you visit other saints and yogis, if they are other saints and yogis, it's fine. It's satsang, it gives you good energy. You must always visit other saints and yogis, always, but never give up the practice that your master's given. I tell this to people here in the whole of Europe and in America because you have the butterfly habit, jumping from one branch to the other. This technique, this technique, this technique, this technique. Over here only I see all of you are so experienced, you have practiced many techniques. But you cannot help it, it's not your fault. Like when some people come and they find the right technique, they say, shopping is over. We found the thing we wanted, right? I'm sure I'm speaking for some of you, I'm speaking your mind out. So there's nothing wrong in doing. Like there are some techniques given in certain names of people, but they're just a rip-off. The Geran, the Sahita and the Hatiyok Pradipika, some pranayam like Ujjayi and some sadhana like Soham, they make it in their own name. But this is deluding the person from the source. My only thing is you must know the source from where the knowledge comes. Kundalini Yoga. Where does Kundalini Yoga come from? Yogi Bhajan? No. It is from the ancient of days. It's from the Ayurveda Samhita and Hiranyagarbha, from where the Kundalini Yoga comes. Then the Shadachakra Nirupan, and especially in the texts and treatises of Gorakshanath Babaji, the Kundalini Yoga is described. The Jyoti Mudra is described. The Khechri Mudra is described. From whom Atmaram Yogi was totally inspired and borrowed heavily from the Goraksha Shatak and wrote his Hatiyok Pradipika. So Babaji is the source. And because he says Kriya Yoga is the best, my simple logic resonates with his words, and my experience gives me to know that what has been said is true. I don't have to go to lesser masters or gurus. So enthusiastic, so eager, and so keen are the people of America to experience Kundalini, to experience a consciousness of mind in a still state, that if they don't get a proper master, they go there and with the intensity of their own desire, they create a situation where they have been given Shaktipat. I've seen this happen. It's a make-believe situation. And when they get the real Shaktipat, they say, oh, wow, what is this? What is this? But this is the true Shaktipat. And what was that? Your imagination. This has to be very clear. It's a very sticky thing, which I've met tens of thousands of people. They have not been able to distinguish between a true Shaktipat of types and sorts, which they must. That is your education. First to choose the true master. I suppose it will come when it will come, because true masters, whoever they may often be very under-publicized or are not available. They are not outsourced properly. They are not outsourced. Their PR system is very weak because they are not business people. They are people who are coming, you make them sit here, they sit here and boom, you'll get it. Like you will get it. Because your hearts and minds are ready. And if the heart and mind is ready, then you shall not be disappointed in what you come to expect.
Blessed with this direct experience, Yogi Raj Siddhanath has crystallized the essence of this wisdom of the oldest of yogic traditions, the Nath Sampradaya, into the teachings, practices, and services performed by the Hamsa Yoga Sangh. Yogi Raj reveals to the initiated and the uninitiated alike how, at the level of consciousness, all humanity is one. Thus, acting as a catalyst for positive change and towards inner transformation, Hamsa Yoga Sangh helps you witness your innermost self flowering and evolving into a newer being. Let not precious moments slip by. Seek now the ultimate truth. Jiva Hamsa, spread your wings to fly, immortal realms which death defy.